Hey, what's up? I'm Greg with Pyramind, and we're here doing the breakdown. And today we're doing a breakdown with Connor Mooldyk and Diego Perez, and we're going to talk about a remix that they recently did for the project we worked on for Tron Run with Disney Interactive.
Yeah.
So what's up, guys? How's it going?
It's going great. Thanks for having us, Greg.
Oh, man, this is awesome. I had a lot of fun with this project, and I know you guys did too.
Oh, yeah, it was a blast.
So tell me a little bit about how this one came together for you guys, because I know we all had a tight timeline. How many days did you guys have to turn this around in?
We had technically about 4 days since you told us, but we weren't able to get in the studio until Monday, and that gave us basically 3 days to get it done because it was due Thursday morning.
Yeah, because the opportunity came on Sunday, and we jumped into the studio on Sunday, but we realized that we had to start fresh on that Monday. So we actually started the project on Monday night.
And what did you guys think when I told you that you were going to be remixing tracks by Giorgio Moroder?
I was ecstatic.
I
was like, I wasn't sure if you were being serious or not.
Yeah, no, it was like unbelievable. Like, I have total respect for this guy, and he's amazing. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, all of his work with all the big movies and working with Daft Punk and everything. Really, really good opportunity. The moment you mentioned it, I was like, all right, it's time. Let's do this.
It's a milestone that you will have like in 20 years. I'm going to happen now.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be happy about to look back on that.
So let's talk a little bit about how this came together for the two of you guys, because you guys decided to collaborate and put something together. I know you also worked on one on your own.
Yeah, I did. I did a solo one as well.
And then we had another producer of ours work on a track. What's up, Gokhan?
Gokhan
did a killer track too. We're sorry he couldn't be here. But so tell us about the collaboration and how it came together between the two of you guys.
So we met here at Pyramind, and we kind of instantly hit it off. We have similar tastes in music and everything. True. And we kind of got along based off of that originally.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that, like, we knew that if we get together, we have the same style, it could work. So we tried, and the connection started immediately along.
But you don't really have the same style, because you're a trance producer. At heart, right? So you started the track out, and you started like doing a trance track, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what we were saying. Like, we got the opportunity Sunday. We hopped in the studio right away, and I started the track, and it kind of turned into trance, kind of.
You weren't there, right?
No, and when I entered the studio and I heard the drums, I was like, no, start again. Tomorrow, not today.
It was just in my blood. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah,
but
true.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't do that, because it wouldn't have worked out the way it did.
Right. Well, we knew our directive was the track had to stay at 170 BPM.
Yeah, and it was hard to match that.
So, at what point did you change directions and start designing what you guys came up with?
Well, I mean, first of all, we had the chance to listen to other really good remixes that they already exist for this track, and we realized that everyone was doing jungle terror or dubstep or, more like real gaming stuff.
Yeah, like 8-bit type stuff.
Yeah, so we just decided to be a little bit different. So we started like on a mid-tempo melodic track.
Yeah, like a halftime, like almost hip-hoppy type of feel.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like house or anything. It was like more like hip-hop.
Yeah, at 170, like halftime.
And then it developed to a cinematic composition.
Yeah, it picked up pretty quick.
Yeah.
So what was the piece that shifted gears for you? Because I know it did start out, you went from this, trance, that's not going to work.
Yeah,
and you created a hip-hop, mid-tempo feel, which kind of created a halftime feel for the track.
Yeah, because it was so fast at 170. That was the only way to get that kind of vibe. And my mindset behind that was the moment you load up that level, you're going to hear that halftime, you're going to feel cool. That's kind of what hip-hop makes you feel like, I guess. But you're going to feel cool, you're going to be interested in the game, and you're going to keep going. And then, obviously, we can't do halftime the whole track. It's at 170. That's part of what he wants. So we decided to start picking up the pace as the level progressed. And then it just naturally turned into an orchestra, to a cinematic type of thing.
So why don't you show us the session a little bit, kind of show us the orchestral elements that you guys created.
we wanted to have the progression of the. I mean, we thought as a gamers, like if we're playing that kind of hard level that this one is, we want to see a progression while we're playing. So we kind of like decided to do that.
Yeah, because it's such a fast-paced game. Yeah. It needs to pick up the pace eventually, or else you're probably gonna die because you're moving so quick. You need to have that energy.
Sure. So at what point do the cinematic elements kick in?
So basically it went from halftime to full-time and started getting really quick. And then there's this really cool section in the game. I think it's almost about halfway through the level. And he basically jumps and he spreads his wings. And right when he spread his wings, we bust out the orchestration kind of thing.
Great. Can we hear that transition?
Just let me show it to you.
For that,
so it's actually coming up really soon here. Oh, that started from the beginning. Let me go back.
We basically saw that moment was like the biggest moment that we could find on the track to make it happen.
And exactly. And the funny thing is, we didn't even do it intentionally, it just kind of happened. Here, it's coming up right here, see this?
So the strings, you brought in these string voicings here.
Yeah, and it's all through Contact. It's all Contact session strings through the factory library. And I have inspirations from like Hans Zimmer and other type of stuff like that.
Definitely.
So I really wanted to try to capitalize on that. We just kind of went to town from there. We bring the halftime back here as well to give you that kind of badass type of feel.
We tried to blend, you know,
exactly.
The cinematic part and the gaming part.
Yeah, because there's some sound effects in the original stems that we did want to try to bring in. Because it's such an electronic game. I mean, you can see it, it's all futuristic, just Tron, you know, so it can't be 100% natural instruments. And then here we pick it back up again. I'll pause it there.
We still keep the voicings behind.
Yeah, exactly. Once we break it down into the cinematic part, we kind of keep that theme throughout the rest of the track until the level ends.
Okay. Now, when you first brought the track to me, it almost sounded like it was just a completely original track. You had pretty much stripped out all of Giorgio and Raney Shokne's material out of the track.
Yeah.
So what happened then?
Blame it on me.
Yeah, that was Diego's idea.
To be honest, when I do remixes, I like to make it super like original and like you're like, okay, it has some elements from the original one, but not that much.
Right.
Yeah. And in this case, when we start our session Monday, the first thing I was like, let's erase everything. We just keep the drums and the effects and let's do our thing.
Yeah, and I was totally against it at first. Yeah. And the only reason, like I totally saw where he was coming from. I did want to keep a little bit of the elements, but the main reason I wanted to keep the stems in the session, because you want to just delete them, I wanted to keep the stems in the session so we could have the idea of the arrangement of the original.
Right.
Because we'd be just kind of lost trying to like reenact this track without any of the original arrangement.
And that was very helpful to me because when you brought me the session, because we looked at it for final mix, I said, well, it really needs to reference some of the original themes to make it really a remix.
Yeah.
And that's when we sat together and kind of pulled out some of the real thematic pieces that you can hear from each of the remixes that we've done that a lot of the same ones we kind of zoned in on that we really liked.
Exactly.
And I think that helped pull it together in a way.
Yeah, totally. And it was on that final day too. Like that was the deadline. And we brought it into the studio and just added a couple of those original stems because we had them in that file.
You guys spent a couple of late nights here at Pyramind working on these.
Oh yeah.
Classes on the morning.
Yeah, just imagine an opportunity like that. You have 3 days to do it. I don't know about you, but I'm not gonna sleep. I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna stop because I'm willing to not sleep for like 3 days to do something.
It was definitely worth it.
So, and what did you use controller-wise for this? Were you using a keyboard? Did you use the push at all?
Yeah, well, Pyramind actually, it was you actually. You decided to get the push too. I think it was that week or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And you allowed us to use it. And I have the old push back at my house, and I mess with it now and then. It's really good for chords and stuff if you don't know the piano too well.
We actually started in the complete control that the school has.
Yeah, the keyboard you'd start
and
this guy right here?
Yeah. But after that, we just started messing around with the push. And boom, the push 2 is amazing. So.
Yeah, and once you get in the zone, time flies. And like I said, we were here all night, 2 nights in a row. And we ended up using the push almost the whole time. It was really good for layering the strings, because if you're going to do a cinematic type of score, you're going to really need to get all these layers, and the push is really good for that. I'm really happy with being able to use that.
Cool. Now, I know this wasn't the original MIDI session that you actually recorded into.
Yeah, this is
I think
the
we
mix
converted
session.
a lot of these to audio. You convert them to audio for the final mix.
Yeah,
but can we just take a look at some of the tracks that,
Like
you
the
know,
singular orchestra stuff?
Yeah,
Here, let me pull
just
them
so
up
we get a feel for what those look like here.
Yeah, so you can kind of hear the different layers involved.
Yeah, let's just kind of solo up the different string tracks and get a feel for that.
Yeah,
just
let me get
so everybody
those.
can see what you guys put together in terms of the kind of cinematic tracks.
Yeah,
here.
so here is kind of the breakdown of when the strings happen, so...
Right, so I hear some pizzicato.
Yeah.
I'm hearing
And
pizzicato
right here
there.
we have some plucks here, some more pizzicato.
There's a cello there.
Some bass notes.
Uh-huh.
And then here, let's pull this guy up. Let's see if I can get these.
I think that was the first strings that we created.
This was the first melody, or the cellos,
Yeah. The like
Where are
kick,
they?
the orchestral, cinematic.
These are the different string sections. We did some kind of low cellos here.
Mm-hmm.
Some plucks. Sounds simple alone, but with everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, in context, it's a cool layer.
Uh-huh.
And then we got some more cellos. Let's see if I can find.
I think you should bring the horns and the drums.
Here's some more strings here. We've got a viola, kind of mid-range violin, and then the high violin. Just another layer in there. And then here, let me bring in these drums here. Here, I'll bring it back. So this part, you hear those cinematic drums?
Yeah.
The original orchestra idea, it came from these drums. This was the original stems in the original track. And we're like, oh, we could actually maybe use this, because I could hear this in a cool cinematic piece. And what we did was, the original drum track was cool, but it wasn't as intense as we wanted, so we actually chopped it up and did some different patterns with it.
So what'd you do there? Show us how you did that.
So basically it was, maybe if I show you this. Sorry, let me get these to this here. So it's just single hits. Kind of simple, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I wanted it to be a little bit more abrupt because we're going cinematic. So I turned up the volume and I started doubling them up and tripling them up.
And were those choked on purpose there at the end there?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So you really just threw in more fills to make it more dramatic.
Exactly. I just wanted to add more drama to it.
Uh-huh.
It just so happened that those were the original stems. One thing I have trouble nowadays with is finding really cool cinematic drums, so I was happy that it came with these. And then throughout the piece...
So what'd you do then? Did you take the original drums and throw them back into a sampler?
No, I actually just chopped up the audio in the arrangement view.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just did it based off of the grid.
Uh-huh. Okay, cool.
Yeah, pretty simple stuff.
I mean, the samples were super clean and super...
Yeah, you compressed a little bit and a little EQ, but the drums themselves sounded great.
Yeah.
Right, and then I think we just added reverb in the final mix on top of those. Right?
Yeah, just a touch of reverb because it did sound a little dry, which is why we brought it to you before, because we need your eye on it before we turn it in.
My ears.
Yeah, your ears, my bad, yeah.
Oh, good. Cool. So maybe we could just watch the that tail end piece now. Let's put it all back together again.
Let's watch it progress.
And we can watch the progression from the cinematic piece all the way to the end.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's watch it with the video, all right?
I want to go from where it breaks down with the wingspan.
Yeah,
let's do that.
Let's do that.
That's definitely, that was our most favorite part. We got so excited off of that. We were in the studio at 4 in the morning, like laughing about how cool that was. This is where I started doubling the drums up and making them a little more intense.
and there's the repeat of that melodic theme from the original.
Yeah.
His synth line.
Exactly. And here, let me go back here. This is actually, it's another Wingspan. This one's actually my favorite. There's two of them. Two of them. And
here's another Wingspan moment.
Yeah, this is when we bust out the brass and we hit them with the horn swells. Then we start bringing in the pizzicato.
Nice. I like the melodic line coming out of the big brass hit going into this pizzicato line here.
Each time the brass hits, more elements get introduced once it goes away.
The thing that we had to make it like progressing little by little with the flow of the game. So we couldn't bring all the big hits of the cinematic part immediately. We had to make it like develop it like in a nice way and like with the flow of the game.
And at any point, did you reference the sound effects track? Because I know there's a sound effects track.
Yeah, almost the entire time we had it in there.
We almost have it all the time.
Yeah, because we want it to match, because the sound effects you're not going to get around. And in order to get the placement, which we were hoping for, we wanted to make sure it fit the sound effects.
The sound of the game,
The sounds were able to fit with each other in the mix and everything.
Right, because there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Play the sound effects
the sound
for
effects
us
aren't
here.
even
Just at the end,
actually
can you play these sound effects for us?
I think we actually never turned it
We could actually go over here too.
Yeah, might as well use that push.
There we go, right at the end.
Get sucked up into wherever he's going there.
And that's how it ended, right?
Yeah, and the whole time it's just building until the end of that level. Because it's like Temple Run type of game. That's just an example of where the guy is sprinting the entire time, and there's no stopping. You can't stop running. You know? You're going the whole time. It's either you make it to the end or you die. So the whole time it's raising, and then in the end it climaxes, and then he gets shot up there. So let's use the sound effects. Let's start back where we were with the brass swells, because that's one of my favorite parts.
All right, so this is with the sound effects now.
Yeah, exactly. And when writing the track, the sound effects help to get us in that vibe, like we're actually playing the game.
I think like we actually never turn off we just like have it low in the mix and like have it as a reference all the time. Because again, we were afraid of having the problem that the track is good, but it doesn't fit the game. You know?
Yeah, because then we'd be kind of.
We're afraid of that, so we always kept the effects low in the mix.
Yeah. It's the same type of mixing mindset where if you're gonna make your kick drum sound great, you need to have it with the track, so you actually mix it to the rest of the track.
I actually think that the original effects creates that kind of feeling together with the cinematic part.
Yeah, because alone the cinematic it seems a little dry for the video.
Yeah.
But with the sound effects, it fits in there pretty well.
Well, the whole idea here is you've got a lot of pieces to the puzzle, and you got to make sure they all work together.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I mean, I think it was more like, again, our connection that we have, and like we really enjoy making this, and everything started like to make sense, and everything started to work together immediately.
Yeah, once that clicks, you just kind of get off to the races.
After we know what we wanted, it was like.
Then it started to flow, right? It took a little while to figure out the right direction, but once you got there, it clicked. So now you guys are actually doing other collaborations togetger, is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
So tell us what you're up to now.
Yeah, so like I'm a trance producer for the most part. That's my single project, and
I'm a single project. Wow, sorry. I have my single project as a progressive house producer.
Yeah, and that's how we got along originally, because I really love progressive house as well. And progressive house and trance, they're not the same genre at all, but they have a similar type of emotion.
They're the same family.
Yeah, and I like to kind of mix them together, kind of, so that worked out really well. And
the good thing is, like, before doing this, we were friends, but we didn't know each other inside the studio.
Yeah.
And our collaboration, the Tron remix, was so good that we decided, like, 1 week after to go for a track. And we're still finishing.
Yeah,
awesome.
And that track is
can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, it's some next level stuff too. It's really, really combination of both of our styles.
It's insane.
It's really unique.
Wait.
Yeah.
All right, awesome, guys. Well, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg, for
Thanks for hanging
today.
out with me, and thanks for cranking out such a cool mix.
Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, seriously.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm Greg Gordon. Thanks for listening to The Breakdown here live at Pyramind. And for more videos like this, definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel, PyraTube.
PyraTube.
All right.
There we go.
All right, awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.